In this video, we're going to talk about actually dispatching resources from the Personnel tab, which is the last step here on our deployment checklist. So to get this far, we will have already created the resource requirements in the project. We have to set the execution event to publish. We have to somehow publicize the existence of the operation, so that could be the availability email, could be messages on Facebook, etc. And then in the last step, we accepted the resources from the schedule board, which basically ties in the registrations with the actual resource requirements. So now for this step, we're going to actually dispatch the resources that we've already pre-earmarked or accepted. So if we go back over to the project, here I am on the registration tab. I just want to make sure that people understand there's a difference between these registration records, which are actually tied to the execution event, versus the new thing that we're talking about in this video now, which is a personnel or deployment record. So as soon as we earmark somebody from the schedule board and mark them as accepted, it's going to automatically create a deployment record which has the name of the person, the role that they chose, and the dates that you have booked them for. So this will become the record for this particular person that shows that they were at the actual event, and it's also our ability to see which role they're currently slated in. So this could help in one of the next steps, which is to do the actual strike team alignments. If we look at my test user right here, you can see that I'm currently in an accepted status for my resource mobilization status. That is specific to my personnel record. And if I go look at my landing page for this particular event, you can see that it's asking me to confirm my flight wave. So this is to demonstrate that we're actually doing some automatic reconfirmation, whereas in the older system we would have had to do a manual process that would send out an email and text. And in this case, we're now doing that automatically. So my landing page is already set to confirm, and on a schedule, I'll receive an email that basically tells me to come here and confirm. So you can see the wave that I'm assigned to. If I wanted to, I could make some changes to it, but for now I'm just going to hit confirm. And now we should have my new status, which is basically, thank you for reconfirming. Now I'm waiting for mobilization to create the actual flight record. And if we go back to the event and refresh the grid, then we should see that now I'm in a status of reconfirmed. So in theory, if we were doing flight waves, you would want for a bunch of people to reconfirm before we actually pay the money to buy the ticket. And for this demonstration, I'm actually going to skip that step of reconfirmation, but normally we would do that. And the next step would be to actually dispatch my particular user. So there's a couple things that we need to do before we do that. First of all, we notice right here that my on-site point of contact and my rally point location are not currently filled out. So we want to make sure that that information is in the summary tab first. So I'm going to pick Brent for this. We'll add in some information here. Okay, and we'll save that. And what should happen is we now have Brent, and the rally point location should populate in here as well. And now we're ready to actually dispatch somebody. So if I select myself, I can see now I have options to either dispatch me or I can stand me down. And if I pick stand down, what that does is it will change my status and it will add me to a marketing list that has some pre-existing language on it that will essentially say something along the lines of the waves have been full, thank you for your participation. You know, something along the lines of you didn't get chosen this particular time, but you know, here's some links for more events and more operations. So for now I'm going to go ahead and hit dispatch. We'll see that my status is now set to dispatched. It will have added me to a marketing list that will present me with my actual dispatch instructions, and will include things like the on-site POC rally point location and some of the fields that we just did. If I go back to the summary and we have a situation where the on-site point of contact changes, which does happen often, then we can change the information here. And what we should see in the Personnel tab is that it's going to refresh the list. And so we always have the current on-site point of contact and rally point location. And this information will get absorbed into the automatic dispatch instructions. If we flip back over to my landing page here, we can refresh and we can get a look at what the page will look like now that I've been dispatched. So you can see I have basically a message that says, "You're going." The text on this will likely change, but you can see the point of the portal pages is to have a snapshot in time of what my current status is. So it's going to give me a recap of what we're doing, the type of things we're bringing to the operation to do. And if I go look up at my events, we should see here is my current dispatch status for this particular event. So we're putting everything into the My Registration area as well. So really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and dispatch the rest of the people that are here in accepted status. And to do that, I'm going to sort by the status to get all the A's to the top. I'll go ahead and select everybody. So whenever they are all selected, I should be able to just click dispatch once, and it's going to go change the status on everybody at the same time. So be sure to multi-select if you're going to put people into different categories over here, because that can save you some time. So that's it for this video on dispatching of resources. If everything has worked correctly, then you will now have your gray shirts dispatched and en route to the operation for their first operational period, which we will start talking about in the next videos.